Hello, everyone, and you're welcome to another episode of Modern Infrastructure. Today, I'm going to be talking about how you can restore deleted stacks with Pulumi. My name is Adora. Before we get onto it, I would like to just talk about what Pulumi stacks are as a refresher. A stack is a container for managing different instances of infrastructure deployments within a single project, and stacks can offer isolation, allowing changes in one stack to remain separate from other stacks. So you can do environment-specific configurations, and this ensures that there's consistency around your different settings, like your developments, testing, and productions. So think about it like this. Stacks act as separate containers for managing different ways you set up your infrastructure, your software. They are crucial for keeping things organized when you're dealing with various setups, like trying out new features, testing stuff, or getting ready to show your work. Stacks make sure that changes you make in one container don't mess up the others. This keeps everything running well and helps you avoid mistakes. And this is a perfect example. So you have the same infrastructure declaration and you'd like to deploy across different stacks. Let's say you have a dev stack, a test stack, a dog food stack, and a production stack. You will deploy to your dev stack first as your development stack where you do things, and you will deploy to your tests next, and then your dog food next when you are trying to test things internally before you go into production. In the life cycle of a stack, there's a lot you would do. You would create a stack, you would update the stack, continuously manage the stack, and sometimes you would delete the stack as well. Here are some reasons why we delete stacks. You can delete stacks due to various reasons, and they can be both accidental and intentional. And some of these reasons are human error. As human beings, we can always mistakenly choose the wrong stack when we are trying to delete a stack. And sometimes this could mean crazy things for us in our infra. Sometimes it could also be miscommunication. So if your team is set up in such a way that data and information doesn't flow correctly, lack of communication among team members might lead to the wrong stack being deleted. And this can be a problem if you delete a stack that is an important stack. Migration as well. So when people are doing platform or technology migrations, you would delete an old stack as part of the transition process. If you are maybe moving from using production to a different name, or you even want to move into a different region, whatever it is the case is in your system, whatever it is the case is on your team, some migrations might mean that you might delete some stacks and create new ones. Same thing goes for like housekeeping. When you are doing maintenance and you are cleaning up stacks that you don't need to use, or stacks that are redundant as a result of people testing things and not deleting all of their test stacks. There are so many reasons why we could actually delete stacks, but I have good news for you. If you are using Pulumi Cloud and you've accidentally deleted any of your stacks, there is something now called Pulumi Restore Stacks, and you can use that to get your stacks back. I'll show you how this looks like. So let's head over to Visual Studio Code and create a Pulumi project, create some stacks, and we could just see how it works. Okay, so now we're in Visual Studio Code and I have created a directory called Adora Pulumi Stack Restore. And this is the directory where I would create my Pulumi project and run all these things for you to see. So now I'm going to be creating a Pulumi Azure project. So I'm going to say Pulumi new Azure Python. And it's going to attempt to create a Pulumi project for me using the Azure Python provider. So I will just go ahead and set all these things. The first stack I want is dev, like we can see here, and location West US 2, that works for me. And it's doing all the installations and I am waiting. So this might take some time. So let's see. Okay, so now it's back, and as you can see, our project is ready to go. And if you want to do an initial deployment, you can run Pulumi up. But let's see what we have in our main.py. So we have a resource group and a storage account, which to be honest is fine because the main goal of this tutorial is to show you how to use Pulumi Restore stacks. But I like to name my resource groups, so I would actually come here and give this a resource group name of Adora Restore Stacks RG, just so that you can see how this works. So now we have our dev stack, which is represented by our pulumi.dev.yaml. We can see it locally on our box. Let's now create another stack and let's call it staging. So before we do this, I would actually want to go over to Pulumi Cloud, to my Pulumi organization, and show you that we only have the dev stack right now, right there. Yeah, so as you can see in my Pulumi organization, I have Adora Pulumi Stack Restore, and the only stack right there right now is the dev stack. We're going to add a staging stack, and we will come back just so that I can show you what this looks like, and then we would attempt to delete it and also see how we can restore it as well. So now we're back here and we can create a new stack, and to do that we can say Pulumi stack init, let's call it staging. So it would create a staging stack. There is no need to do a deployment for this particular tutorial. I'm just showing you how to use the restore stacks feature. So now that we have the staging stack, we still don't see the pulumi.staging.yaml here. So we're going to set a config so that it shows up. So let's do something like Pulumi config set Azure native location, and let's set our Azure native location to East US. So we're doing this so that we have our pulumi.staging.yaml appear, just so that we can see that as well. So now we've set it, and if we go here, the config value for this is East US. We have our dev stack and we have our staging stack. Let's actually go back to our Pulumi Cloud and see if we have our staging stack in cloud as well. As expected, it's there. So now the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to delete our dev stack and attempt to restore this, and then we'll show you how that works. So this is the stacks panel. This is the stacks page in Pulumi Cloud. So from the sidebar, if you go to stacks, this is where I have access to this page. So now let's go back and attempt to delete the dev stack and see what happens here and see how we can restore it. So we're back here now, and I'm going to be running a Pulumi stack rm -- force. I want to delete my current stack, the current stack that I have set, and I'm running this to delete my staging stack, and let's see how that goes. So I'll go ahead to type staging now, and it should automatically delete my staging stack. So now that the staging stack is deleted, as we can see, we lose the staging file here. The pulumi.staging.yaml file no longer exists. And if we actually go back to Pulumi Cloud, we will not see that staging stack anymore. So now let's go back. So this is the previous page. So I'm going to attempt to reload the page just so that we can see what the current state is. And based on the reload, as you can see, we have only the dev stack here. We don't have the staging stack, but we want to bring it back because we miss our stack. So if you hover over these three dots, you would see something called restore deleted stacks. And that's where you should click on it. And once you click on it, you would see different stacks that you have deleted in the past. You are able to restore your 10 most deleted stacks. Think of it like a recycle bin for stacks. So you're coming here, which is the Azure Pulumi Stack Restore. This is the current project. And you can come here and now restore this stack. Once you do, let's go back to our stacks. And as you can see, it's right there. So now we're back to Visual Studio Code, right? And we know that we have the stack back because we have actually restored it in our Pulumi Cloud. But let's run Pulumi stack ls. This command actually helps us list all the stacks that we have for this Pulumi project so that we can see what we're working with. And we can see that we have a dev stack and we have a staging stack now. We've restored it and now it's there. If we want to bring back our staging stack, what we just need to do is do a Pulumi stack select staging, and we can bring back we've now selected staging as our current stack, and we can simply set the config again like we did before. That's a hack for bringing back the file. And once we do that, the file appears again, and we can do all we need to do with our stack. Set different configurations, deploy it to different things. You can use stacks in different ways, and you can go ahead to do that. I hope that this has been useful for you. If you've ever deleted a stack in the past, now you can restore it when you are using Pulumi Cloud. I hope this makes your infrastructure engineering easier, and see you on the next episode of Modern Infrastructure. Bye.